Hello and welcome to Polemics. Polemics is a collection of political poetry, and I'm starting this YouTube channel at the beginning of 2015, so please subscribe because I'll be adding a new poem every day of the year. And if I don't come up with a political poem, I'll come up with one about something else. The place I want to begin is with a line of W.H. Auden, "For poetry makes nothing happen." And the question is, was Auden being ironic? Irony being where the implied meaning is opposite to the surface meaning. And perhaps the greatest argument against the surface meaning that poetry makes nothing happen is in the opening lines of the Bible. And God said, "Let there be light." Let there be light is a line of pure poetry. It's in the heartbeat rhythm, the iambic rhythm, that drives so much poetry of the English language. And by this argument, everything we see, everything that exists, is because God said, "Let there be light," because God spoke a line of poetry and the word became flesh. This collection of political poetry I call Polemics now numbers well over 300 titles. And I began the series in 2000 when George W. Bush was installed in the White House, and then spurred on by the events of 9/11, which I saw up close from my rooftop in Brooklyn. And then came the invasions, the illegal invasions, or rather re-invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, and destruction of the US Constitution. I'm now back in the UK, where the political themes are dismally familiar to those operating in the US. I also want to quote what other poets have to say about the power of poetry. Tennyson, for instance, wrote of the poet who, with his scroll, with his word, shook the world. And Shakespeare, in A Midsummer Night's Dream, writes of the poet who glances from heaven to from earth to heaven, and creates from airy nothing. And nothing for Shakespeare is also, that's a fair thought to lie between a maid's legs. And that particular nothing is of course the source of all human life. So instead of saying poetry makes nothing happen, we could say poetry makes nothing happen. So to conclude, this collection of political poetry under the heading Polemics glances from heaven to from earth to heaven, to make everything happen. Thank you.